Hello and welcome again to Ethan channel. And yes, today we're going to start with an error and with a question: how do you solve a station that has unresponsive operating system remotely? If you're thinking about TeamViewer, remote desktop, VNC, think again, you don't have access to the operating system. That's why you need something like Ethan VE 8900 and 8950. Let's start by creating a scenario. In this scenario, we're going to have two transmitters, which means we're going to control two stations, and we're going to have three receivers, which means we're going to have three operators. Let's assume the first station, it's a full HD, so we need VA 8900. We connect the T to the station, and then we connect the R close to the operator. We're using the Ethernet network that we already have in our company. If we have 4K, let's assume station 2 is 4K, then we need the 8950T as a transmitter and 8950R as a receiver. After connecting all the HDMI and USB cable, then we can have remote access. Connecting the 8NVE 8900 series is very straightforward. Here we start with the transmitter, which we are going to connect close to the station. We start by replacing the HDMI cable of the video output with ours, and then connecting the USB, which can work parallel to your existing mouse and keyboard. Lastly, we can connect the audio. We connect the LAN, and then we connect the power. Last is to start the station itself. And now let's go to the receiving side. Here things are also simple. We just connect the mouse and the keyboard. Then we connect our HDMI display, which can be Full HD or 4K. Then we connect it to our network infrastructure. And the last step is to power on. Because we are in a network environment, it means the equipments must find each other via IP. However, if you're not familiar with this, you can just use the ID number of the transmitter, let's say 5 in our example, and then put the receiver on the same ID number, 5, to get the image and the controls of the transmitter. Next, we're going to use Ethan IP installer to discover the equipment and set up an IP address. By default, our equipment works without a DHCP server, but it's much easier to set up a static IP to control the equipment better. We are going to give local IP addresses to our 8NVEs. With proper router configuration, those can be accessible to remote users via either VPN or with port forwarding. After configuring both equipments, at least one transmitter and one receiver to begin with, then we are able to enter the interface of the VE system. We are going to do this by connecting to any transmitter that we have in our network. Once connected to the IP address of the VE transmitter, we are presented with the interface. We have two options: as an administrator or a basic user. Let's connect as an administrator. A wizard is going to be presented to us in 3 simple steps: establishing the time, searching for the transmitters and receivers, and we can also do some associations. Next, we can review our transmitters and our receivers. We do this by going to the dedicated menu. Here we only have one transmitter, so we can check this one out. And then we can move to the receivers. Here there is a recommendation to be done. I do recommend you to configure USB to follow the path of the video. In this way, the mouse and the keyboard of the operator are going to be active over the video they are seeing. Now we have added one more transmitter and 2 more receivers. So let's see what new options do we have. We have the transmitters on the right and the receivers on the left. With a very simple drag and drop, we can decide which image and which controls goes to what receiver. So let's play a couple more times with the drag and drop feature, deciding what the receivers are going to get. Our next feature is video wall. This is very useful in control rooms where the displays of the operators are already arranged as a video wall. If you have a digital signage, then you are more interested in the splitter option. After being presented with a 2x2 default video wall, we are going to change it in a 3x1 because we only have 3 operators. And last, we are going to arrange the order of the displays. After doing that, with a simple drag and drop, we can decide which transmitter will go to the entire video wall. Let's do that again with a different station. And now let's see how it looks like from the outside. We're going to use 2 monitors. Here is the stretched image. And now is the split image, meaning both images are identical. And now we're reverting back to stretch. We have started our presentation with an error, and we would like to correct that error by entering the BIOS of the station and asking the station to boot a remote operating system. That operating system actually resides on our receiver on the operating side. Here is us entering remotely the BIOS of the station. And we are changing to an USB that is not connected directly to the station, but instead over the network is connected to our receiver. There are plenty of reasons why you would like to do this. First, because you want to install a new operating system. Second, you would like to assess a faulty operating system with another one that it is good. And third, if you're using Windows over Windows, you would like to repair a station that is bad. For convenience and ease of use, Atan have also created a mobile app to manage the VE9800 series. This is available in both Apple App Store and Google Play. You simply scan the network, find the transmitter and connect to it. Then you can apply the profiles. You can even create video wall and splitter from here. This is a very simple and very powerful tool to manage your entire VE infrastructure. So let's recap what you can do with the VE8900 series. First, you can work remotely just like any other remote software, except you don't need to install a remote software, and we're compatible with a vast variety of OSs. You can also remotely attach bootable sticks to install new OSs, and you can enter the BIOS level. That being said, I would like to thank you for being with me today, and until next time, please stay safe.